What's going on, guys, and welcome to the next Crack a Pack video. Today we're opening up a relatively new set, Core Set 2019, obviously came out this year. A fantastic draft set, a few really good cards worth of value, but nothing too crazy. Hopefully we get something interesting, of course. And as always, we are going to go through this as if it's a pack one, pick one scenario, so we'll do the best we can to pick out our first round draft pick. I can't say that I drafted too much of this, but I did draft a little bit, so I like to think that I know what the better picks are, so we'll see what we get. Our first common here, Gearsmith Prodigy, is 1 blue for a 1/2, and it gets +1/+0 as long as you control an artifact. This is one of those cards that is really good in the artifact deck because it's just efficient, but it is still at max a 2/2, so it's not like the ceiling is very high for it, it's just a very efficient spell. So if you are in that deck, this is a perfectly fine card to pick up for an early drop. You don't want too many of them, but it isn't bad. In general though, obviously not super exciting. Fire Elemental, a 5/4 for 3 and 2 red vanilla creature, but definitely something as a high-end red card that is perfectly fine to run. It's not amazing by any means, obviously, but if you're in an aggressive deck, this could be your top end, and that's perfectly fine. So again, not amazing, but not bad either. Definitely over the Prodigy, for sure. Araskos Swiftclaw, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I might be wrong. It's a 3/1 for 1 and a white. Again, another vanilla creature, but this one's actually pretty good. It's good for the aggressive decks. It's not obviously gotten any abilities, but it does have a lot of power, so it's going to be able to deal some damage pretty easily. I do like this card, probably over the Fire Elemental as well. Child of Night is a 2/1, 1 and a black for, and it has lifelink. This is a perfectly fine card. It's not anything exciting, but there is sort of a life gain deck that this goes in. It's okay. It's like, this is a really classic card. In other sets, I've found this card to be a little bit better than in this iteration of the core set. It's not bad again, but not super exciting. Bristling Boar is 3 and a green for a 4/3, and it can't be blocked by more than one creature. I actually like this card, I think, the most out of what we have. It's not amazing by any means, but it means that your opponents are hopefully going to have to at least 2 for 1 or do something like that to hopefully get rid of it. That being said, it is a 4/3, 3 being really important. There are ways to deal 3 damage in this set, and so it probably will die to something like that, but it is still a little bit of a workaround for the opponent. Oh, well, here we go. Electrify, 3 and a red for an instant. Deal 4 damage to target creature. Again, this deals with the Bristling Boar, but it also deals with so much else. A fantastic removal spell, especially at instant speed. And at 4 mana, really. 4 mana for 4 damage at instant speed is great. So this is a really good card to pick up early. It's definitely a solid removal spell for this set. Walking Corpse is 1 and a black for a 2/2 vanilla creature. This is just a black bear. Not very exciting, unfortunately. Nothing really to this card. Definitely not something I want, really, but something that is serviceable as a 2-drop for sure. Snapping Drake is 3 and a blue for a 3/2 with flying. Perfectly fine in sort of a blue-white Flyers deck. It's nothing exciting, but it's not bad either. Sort of mid-curve, but it is a 3/2 with flying. It's not just, you know, a 1/1 or anything like that. So it's going to be able to get some damage in, hopefully, and it does fly in the air, so it's fantastic in that regard. Gearsmith Guardian is 5 mana for a 3/5. And it gets +2/+0 as long as you control a blue creature. This is a really good payoff card for the like blue-white artifacts deck, which that is a very interesting deck, I will say. I never really got it to work very well, but it was pretty good for some people. And so this is a really good payoff card. It's a 5/5 essentially for 5 mana in that deck. Plus it boosts your artifact count, which helps a lot of the other cards. It's a very synergistic deck. So this is one of the payoff cards for it that I'd like to get, but again, I'd rather have some direction before taking a card like this, which is really only good in those decks. Druid of the Cowl is 1 and a green for a 1/3, and you can tap it to add green mana to your mana pool. This is a perfectly fine card. It doesn't beat Electrify at all by any means, but it's definitely a card that in sort of a green ramp deck, this is the kind of thing that I want, especially early on, or if I've gotten a payoff card and I'm really trying to build to that card, this is perfect for it. Definitely something that I wouldn't expect to come around the table by any means, but definitely a good card. So Nightmare's Thirst is our first uncommon. 1 black for an instant, you gain 1 life and target creature gets -X, where X is the amount of life you gained this turn. Again, sort of reminiscent of that Child of Night. This goes in that life gain deck. It's pretty good in that deck, I imagine, but it's really not that great. There are better just solid removal spells, but if you know you're going to be gaining a lot of life, this is a perfectly serviceable card for it. Not something I'd want to pick up early though. Tectonic Rift is 3 and a red for a sorcery. Destroy target land and creatures without flying can't block this turn. This is really actually pretty good in an aggressive deck, only because creatures without flying can't block this turn. That's really important. If you've got a lot of just low to the ground, deal damage kind of cards, a lot of low cost creatures, this is the kind of card that you want because it's going to be able to serve it to get you in that last turn for a lot of damage. So this isn't bad by any means. It's not a card that I'm looking to get until I have those creatures, but it's definitely an important piece to that puzzle. Reassembling Skeleton is 1 and a black for a 1/1, and you can pay 1 and a black and it to return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. There is sort of a sacrifice deck if I'm not mistaken, and this goes very, very well in it. Other than that, it's not super exciting. It is just a 1/1, but it does come back every turn, so it's going to be able to hopefully give you some recursion and some defense against some aggressive decks as well. So not a bad card, definitely not better than Electrify in my mind. Nothing so far has been. We do get to our rare here. Sigiled Sword of Valeron, 3 cast artifact equipment. The equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance. It's also a knight in addition to its other types. Whenever the equipped creature attacks, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance that's also attacking. It also has an equip cost of 3. This is actually kind of a really powerful card in draft, only because 1, it boosts a creature you've already got. 2, it gives you more creatures that this can actually be equipped to if something happens to the first creature, and it doesn't get destroyed with any of the creatures that actually die if there is something that this is equipped to that does die. So I like this card. I think I would try this over Electrify. Electrify is just a really safe removal spell for sure, but I really like the Sigiled Sword. I think that's what I would take. Again, let me know in the comment section below if you disagree with me, of course, but if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like or a comment down below, and as always, please make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of our awesome content. But with that, I'm gonna get out of here. I will see you guys in the next Crack a Pack video.